That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the rowing stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy Fine is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you guys got that lawn you don't want to cut, you got that landscape project you don't want to do, or you just want some ideas of landscape ideas or, projects you want to do, think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Don't think it. Call them at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. I always recommend that so you can see videos and pictures of the jobs they've done. And when you call Johnny or you message him on Facebook, tell him you heard about him from Sports with Strawberry Ice. Also, we're getting closer and closer to the 35th Celebrity Softball Classic. Me and Cap will be there July 17th at the Florence Y'all's Stadium there. Get your tickets at Celebrity Softball Classic. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got, let's see, who's first here? Brad was in there first, and Stranger. Paul Painter's in there. Bengals Captain, and Tony Blazin. All right, guys, we had a hell of a week from the Cincinnati Reds. Had a walk-off win yesterday, had an almost no-hit bid Friday night. Spencer Steer has become the player of the week. We got Chase Burns making his second MLB start tonight versus the Red Sox. I mean, two historic teams to go against in your first two starts. You got the Yankees, and then you go get the Red Sox. So you got that tonight. I am looking forward to it. The Reds, the Squealers made a trade today. And I don't know about you guys. I don't think they made themselves any better, to be honest. And maybe I'm just a Squealers hater, but we'll see. This is from the Squealers themselves. We have acquired cornerback Jalen Ramsey and tight end Joan Smith and a 2027 7th-round pick from Miami Dolphins in exchange for safety Micah Fitzpatrick and a 2027 5th-round pick. Now, I've heard on different shows that, this makes the Steelers I cussed my own show. The Squealers a Super Bowl contender now. Wow. You got an aging Aaron Rodgers. Maybe he'll be good. You picked up a tight end. Cool. You have another weapon for Aaron to throw to. Now you got a wide receiver and a tight end. And the thing is, they're like, oh, well, he could be a tight end, a slot corner, and a fullback. How is he going to be a fullback? I don't know. And then Ramsey's like, oh, Ramsey can play the slot, outside, and safety. He's never played safety in his life as far as the NFL goes that I know of. I think you made your secondary worse because I don't know who's going to be your starting safety. You got to go against Jamar T, Mike G, Burton, all the weapons the Cincinnati Bengals have. And this is supposedly to go against us, to compete with us. I guess their one tight end is going to let them have enough offense to keep up with us. I mean, we're going to score 30 points a game. So I don't know. I'm not scared. It doesn't make any sense to me. Or why? But, and the other thing, too, is the Squealers have not signed T.J. Watt. And, he's getting – and the Steelers wouldn't pay more money to other players that weren't on this team. They are now. T.J. Watt's still sitting there going, hello, I'm one of the best defensive players in football. I want to get signed. And there's talks. I mean, I don't think this is going to happen. Some rumors are out there that the Steelers could be trading TJ Watt. I would be shocked if that happens. But my point to this is, where's the outrage from the national media of, oh my goodness, the Steelers, they can't, sign TJ Watt. Maybe they might trade him. Like, we heard all this crap about Trey Hendrickson all offseason. And the national media goes, oh, this is a great trade. I'm like, this is a great trade. You weakened your secondary. Okay, cool. You got a tight end. And I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling on. Let's get to my co-host for today. He is the co-fan of the year for the Cincinnati Bengals. He is the one and the only Bengals Captain. What's up, Cap?
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just reminiscing in the Red Hot Reds over a great week they had.
Man, you want to talk about some exciting games?
Oh yeah, yesterday was awesome, dude. Yesterday was freaking awesome.
I tell people, like, I like baseball. I'm a Reds fan, but like my heart and soul is football. Like, to me, it's the perfect sport because you really can't look away. Sure, you got like a second down run, it gains a couple yards, but that second down run could be 50 yards, it could be 2, it could, but there are so many limited play. Basketball, hard for me to watch. Number one, because there's not an Ohio team that I really like, or city, I should say, that has a basketball team that I really like. I get it, I'm not a Cavaliers hater, but I mean, they score 130 points. Yeah, you can go do a number 2 and come back, and it's like, you know what? Just give me the last 5 minutes of the game.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. It seems like they're all close. One of the reasons I don't love volleyball is limited points. Every single volley matters. It's like, okay, baseball. There's a lot of chilling, and you know what? In my old age, I have come to enjoy, the chilling, the kickback. I don't have to lose my voice. There are times we'll get loud.
Oh yeah,
but you want to talk about games that get like the football fan in me going. The last few had like oh my god,
Friday night was awesome. We were out eating, and I was listening to the game on the radio on the way back. And Tommy Thrall was killing me here because I'm old school, man. You don't say the word no hitter while your pitcher's got one, and he kept saying it over and over and over. I'm like, dude, like, Tommy, shut up. And that's not why he lost. That's just me. I'm like,
right.
He kept saying it, but I mean, that was an unbelievable game. You had a no hitter going into the 9th inning. Spencer Steer hit 3 home runs. I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, in baseball history, I don't know if you've ever had a no-hitter and a guy hit 3 home runs in one game. But we did have, a no-hitter through 8 innings, and a guy hit 3 home runs in one game. It was unbelievable. And then Saturday's game was kind of a dud. But they came back Sunday against one of the best closers who's got the most saves of anybody in the National League. And they don't get 1 run. They get 2 runs off of them. I mean, and Will Benson, that was a line drive. And then shout out to Ellie. Ellie De La Cruz gave one of his best career at-bats. He kept fouling off pitches, and got on base and got that thing going.
I am not about to go online and start a fight with Reds fans, but I have said this to Jess a lot. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I've made my complaints about Burrow. I'm getting all excited. Hey, you can't throw a pick in Ravens territory. We've talked about that. You can't fumble against the Chiefs, little things. We're talking about 1 or 2 or 3 play. I get it. But if you're going to be the guy, you got to be the guy.
Right.
And outside of some of the early mistakes with Joe's been the guy, but he really sealed some games. He was the sole reason for some of the throws he made when he had to make them. And especially that Super Bowl run. I mean, the Raiders, the running out of bounds, there's so many clutch moments.
Yeah.
And it feels like, and we watch almost every single Reds game. And I'm like, all right, baseball is crazy to me because, so-and-so leads with this number at bats and this number of times the glove has touched the dirt and this many full moons and this many. I'm like, are you guys making this shit up? And Ellie, he's not number one home runs. He's not you look at all the stats, but you combine them, he's number one. I'm like, okay, how many games is that winning us? I want Ellie to be clutch. I want, like, when I flip on whoever and I see some of these stars, I'm watching them make a clutch play when their team needs it.
Yeah.
We need that out of Ellie. I have seen nothing but that out of Ellie lately.
Yeah.
Like, he's still young. He's still got room to grow. And you nailed it. Like, that was a hard fought at bat. He did what we needed him to do.
Yeah, the only thing I wish Ellie would clean up is his throws to first base. He's got to clean those up because he still has somewhere me and Skinny talked about this, where he wants to show his arm off, I think, too much, and thinks about it and pats it and wants to gun it over there and just sails it over Steer's head. That's the one thing that he's got to work on. But I mean, like I said, this team, they are in the hunt. I guess I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm not taking a big gulp shit because I've seen this before. We got a break and Chase. And
then tonight.
Yeah, tonight Chase Burns, baby. I cannot wait.
And how cool is my wife? Because I got this for her, and she wants it though. Like, she loves this. She collects. Yeah. Like, I married the right one, but I love this card.
I'm excited to see him pitch tonight because he was impressive as hell his first
and he seems like such a good dude too. Like, I love
nice
good kids.
Nice and even keeled. You know
what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But he seems nice and even keeled. Not like the moment wasn't too big for him, which is awesome because if it were me, I mean, I'll put it this way, if I ever get a chance to actually do an actual radio show like 15:30 or something like that, I'll be nervous as hell. It might not sound like it on the radio, but I will be nervous. And he didn't look nervous at all when he did that. Not at all. So he was just nice and even keeled. And that's, like I said, the moment wasn't too big for him. So it's also, I also got news that Hunter Green is starting to throw again. So hopefully get him back soon. Now, what I was trying to say is I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I'm not taking a big gulp check. I've seen this before where we do good and we get to the All-Star break and we kind of level off. And I want to know if the front office is going to go get a bat. I love Will Benson. I think he's had a great resurgence this year. I don't know if we can count on him. Austin Hayes has been battling injuries. Jake Fraley is on the IL right now. There's not a solid outfielder bat. Oh, TJ Friedl. TJ Friedel's good, but I mean a power bat that I think we need to go get. And we've got the guys. I'm not talking about the big time guys in our minor leagues, but we have some lower level guys that teams would be interested in, and maybe a couple guys that are on the team right now that teams would be interested in to go get that bat that you need that cements that, hey, we're all in this with you guys and we believe in you guys. And like last time they were in it, they made a trade, but by the time they made the trade, the Reds were out of it. So they need to be proactive, I think, in the trade deadline. Go get that. Yeah,
I mean, that's what every Cincinnati sports fan wants is their team to be active at whatever trade deadline. It doesn't matter, the logo, that never changes. And hey, T-Brookie, what's going on?
Yeah, T-Brookie,
you gotta
go back and check out the beginning of the show. Not now, but later. I got a new intro.
Yep.
New intro song. So I was curious.
And then my favorite Esther's in chat. Always appreciate her.
We had a great time with her this weekend.
I am DJ Snow. That's how you say that, right? I like that. I like that spelling.
There you go.
That's slick.
But I had a great time with Esther this weekend. We were at the Trey Henderson camp, and God, it was hot.
You got to make it?
I made it, and believe it or not, they had me coaching offensive line. So I'm officially I'm officially an offensive line coach now. So I know. So if you
go, buddy.
Your kids need any help or anything, just come to me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. You don't want to come to me. But it was fun. We had a good time. It wasn't too hot at first, but then when the cloud cover opened up, it was hot out there. Trey was awesome. He was out there throwing the football around with the kids and everything. But yeah, it was a good time. I recommend if you guys got any kids between, what was the age group? I think from 6 to 12, I think. These football kids.
I identify as a 12-year-old from now on.
I don't think 12-year-olds have beards, Cap.
Hey, I had a goatee at 13, so.
Oh, jeez. I don't doubt that. See, that's why you have more facial hair than I do.
Coach Ice. I kind of like that. Coach Ice.
I would just call him. I was telling him to call
But then I want to say Coach East.
East. Coach East. I would just tell him to call me Coach T.
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to deal with some work stuff, and I don't want to panic anybody, but do your own research, look online, and read about one of the threat actors going after airlines right now, and yeah, 5 to 16 age group, 285 kids there. That is a huge camp.
That's a lot.
That's awesome. But yeah, everybody, I think your major airlines and major Spirit counts, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little nervous about some of the hacking going on when they're targeting airlines, because man, I don't mind flying, but it makes me a little nervous. So yeah, just keep an eye on that.
I will. I want to bring this up here. Now, see, all right, William, thanks for the comment. But he says, what is sad is the Steelers are making moves and the Bengals don't.
I'm glad the Bengals don't make a dumb move like that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't see how this is a great move for the Steelers. You got rid of Mika Fitzpatrick.
They screwed themselves over.
Yeah, you got
Mika is good.
Yeah, you got Jalen Ramsey, who's a cornerback. He's not a safety. Yeah, and sorry, T and Jamar cooked him in the Super Bowl. So I'm not worried about him at all. And then they might move him to safety, a position he's never played before. I think I would have kept
hit up Dustin. Dustin's comment right there. Yeah.
They got a tight end, but we'll see. Dustin. I heard interesting podcast from a former scout today, and he mentioned how the defense in the NFL are going younger because it is read and react, and you need that twitchy athletes. Why laughing at Pittsburgh? Yeah, exactly. Mike is a beast.
I mean, Jalen's not been dominant for a long time.
Right. I mean, okay, they got a good tight end. All right, cool. So
who'd they get tight end?
Who is this? I'll bring it back up here. All right, I got it. There it is. Tight end, Johnny Smith is who they got.
Am I less of a football fan because I have no clue who that is?
I mean, he's some Steelers fans came back. Oh, he had this. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, he had a pretty good year last year. Which, again, hey, the Steelers don't have anybody to throw. They needed a tight end because they don't have anybody to throw the ball to. They got the wide receiver DJ Metcalf, and now they got this guy. That's it. Like, okay,
yeah. So he had 88 receptions.
Yeah, which good. Don't get me wrong.
Which is crazy, but the Dolphins throw the ball all the time, like a billion times a game. It's the offense. It's just, and I don't even necessarily think it's a good thing because obviously they can't get over that hump. I think Mike gets way too much credit. But
says Johnny Smith, Ramsey graded well last year, but he was used in unique ways. So Pitt has to use him right. That's the thing is they can't. He's not a plug. They're not replacing Mika Fitzpatrick. They're not. That's right. That's a big loss. I don't care what anybody said. That's especially if your goal is to stop Jackpot Joey, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, and you get rid of one of the best guys in your secondary. I'm so good. Ronnie Ron's in the house. What's up? Glad I heard you made it back to Arizona, man. So I wish I could have got with you this weekend and hung out with you, but wasn't able to work it out. But glad you got back there. But like I said, I just don't. I was watching. Fox this morning, the facility, and one of the guys on there goes, "Well, I think this makes the Steelers a Super Bowl contender." I'm like, how does that make them an automatic Super Bowl contender? Like, I think the Bengals are way more talented on offense than they are. Now, I'll give it to the Steelers have a better defense. But we'll see what happens this year when you get hopefully we get Trey signed and Shamar Stewart in there. We'll see. I think this defense is going to be much better than last year. I just don't get all this praise for the Steelers. And then the other thing is that they still haven't signed TJ Watt. And we can get all this crap like, oh, you guys haven't signed Trey Henderson. Well, how's TJ Watt doing? He's not showing up to anything, but you don't hear the national media going after the Steelers about how bad of an offseason they've had. Like, they literally have had a terrible offseason. They just got Aaron Rodgers. Just say Aaron Rodgers flaked out on them and decided not to be their quarterback. They would have had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer as their quarterback. I mean,
can Aaron Rodgers last a complete season now? I don't know that he can.
I don't know.
Although I did see Steve-O this weekend, and he was talking about hitting 40 and then getting in the best shape of his life.
Yeah.
And the dude was showing video of him like rolling over, had a smart car, and they pushed it down a hill sideways, rolling over, and he's in there in a helmet and still taking the beating. The man tattooed the crash test dummy logo on each side of his testicles. Dude,
what is wrong with him?
I was crying. We were dying. It was fun. We sat with some great Bengals fans too, which ironically they knew us.
Where were you at?
Funny Bone in Columbus.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But dude, like I walked away with a little bit of like, hey, we're not too old for this shit, vibe going. I'm like, all right. But I saw more of that man's butthole and wiener. I never met. They was half the show was Steve-O's nether region.
Oh my goodness.
From one star to the other, the whole constellation in between, just over and over and over. I'm like, bro,
it's burned in your brain now, right?
Yeah, but it was it was a good time. So not to talk about Steve-O's taint, but Jonnu Smith. Okay, so he did score 77.7 PFF last year. Sweet, but so what? Like, that's going to be your difference?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, you got a tight end.
They lost George Pickens.
Yeah, like, does it make them that much better? Absolutely
Which
not.
George Pickens will do. Like, but who do they don't have anybody to okay, so they've got maybe one person to throw to. Again,
that's it.
Yeah, you're not getting the ball thrown by, I don't want to say prolific passer. That sounds like really great, but I mean, Tua can sling the football. Steve had to do that. So kind of sad, actually. You know what? It's funny because he said he saw a comment on that, and he said, you know what? It is kind of sad. He's like, it sucks to be 50. He didn't care about the stunts. He just like, it sucks. But it's like, you know what? I'm going to embrace it. I'm like, hey, I love it. He's doing it because he wants to, and he can. Like, the dude is in good shape.
Yeah, I have no desire to do any of that ever.
I was impressed. And they are working on a Jackass 5, which I can't wait because
man,
these dudes are in a phase where someone's going to get something broken, and I don't mean that's entertaining, but
they've had stuff broken.
God. Yeah.
Yes, he did Natty Run. Yes, he wants to know we saw Fairchild's match. Yes, he was in the Octagon with a UFC fighter. They were just practicing or whatever, but he got rave reviews from the UFC fighter going, that dude can wrestle. He can wrestle. I saw it. He was moving, Cap. I don't know if you got to see that video or not.
I did.
He was moving, and that got me fired up. I'm like, all right, if he can move like that, dude, our left tackle is going to be fine. We got to make sure we figure out the right tackle, which I said, I still like Rivers, but I think that's future plans that maybe Rivers.
You mean guard? Yeah.
Guard. Yeah. Sorry, guard.
Yep.
Sorry. Yes. So,
yeah.
So I think it's.
Look, I'm looking. Pro Football Focus grades. Like Gesicki scored like 71.5. That's not that far behind Jonnu, and we have two major targets that are going to eat up a lion's share above Gesicki. So yeah, and I get it. Yeah, Miami's got some great wide receivers too, but the way they use their receivers and tight end receiving, it's not going to happen in Pittsburgh. There's no way.
I just
Rodgers doesn't have that arm anymore. They tried to sell us that shit in New York.
right.
They're like, oh, New York's a contender.
Right.
No,
They did.
no, they're not.
Right. Yeah.
Neither is Pittsburgh.
Right. That's where I just.
And you took away a piece that I actually did not like. Minka caused us fits.
Yeah. I mean,
Jalen Ramsey is not going to cause anybody fits.
no, that's
Jamar Chase actually said, man, the days just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase cannot wait to play the Steelers. He is going to smoke him.
He had he did struggle a little against Mika. That's why you got the double bird pitcher. That's to Mika. If I remember the famous pitcher, that's to Mika. And now you got Jalen Ramsey, who, like I said, both of them torched him. So that's where I said, maybe I'm too much of a Bengals fan, but I'm like literally trying to look at this and try to understand why people are saying this is such a great trade. I'm like, I don't see it. I literally don't see it. Now, if they would
that's a lot of copium from Steelers fans. There's no way.
If they would have just added Ramsey, which is what I thought they did at first, I was kind of like, all right, well, that's cool. I still wasn't like upset about it. But then I found out they got rid of Mika. I'm going, you guys are dumb. That's a stupid trade. Dustin here. NFL simplistics. You have to have a quarterback and stay healthy. I think we are going to see huge improvements this year. I was never a Lou guy. When Frank started using quotes, I was out on him. So hopefully, well, like I said, our new offensive line coach, Scott Peters, I'm very interested in seeing how the MMA stuff comes. And Orlando Brown said this on my show Friday. He said, we got some stuff for you. I think you guys are going to be very happy with what we got. He wouldn't elaborate anymore, but he said we got some stuff. And he was telling me him and Mims are doing hand-to-hand combat in the locker room and stuff. So, dude, bring it on. Let's go.
So here's a fun thing about OBJ.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that working with Scott Peters has brought back his love for Bruce Lee. He is a huge Bruce Lee fan. I've got
I talked about his tattoo. He's got his tattoo on there. Yeah.
Yep.
Talked about that.
And so down in New Orleans, OBJ was down there. I got to talk to him about that. He showed the tattoo. We talked some Bruce Lee stuff. And we even talked a little bit about, Bruce Lee and what the 1-inch punch actually is,
mm-hmm.
or the little quote about, attacking and defending and things like that.
Right.
And it's part of Wing Chun. So that's what Bruce Lee was raised in, was taught. And then he didn't like the rigidity of like particular stances. He wanted to be able to move so he used everything and created his own. Right. Everybody knows that story.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I've talked with, friends, Mike on Twitter, Eversole.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. He's got a little bit of a Wing Chun and other martial arts background. We've talked about it too, but
isn't he a black
something
belt?
is.
I thought.
What's that?
Isn't he a black belt or something like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trained before.
Yeah,
like taught.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take a whole lot. So just to deviate just a little bit, part of Wing Chun you're supposed to be the weaker. You're being attacked by somebody stronger.
Right.
You have got the whole art is supposed to be able to handle that disparity in size. Mm-hmm. So somebody goes to punch you, you don't have to use force to block. You don't have to necessarily waste energy and dodge. When you think about it, all you have to do is redirect a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to hit you square in the teeth. If they are here, or maybe they hit you in the shoulder, so you've got a hand out and you just pull down a little bit. Mm-hmm. So it ends up hitting you. Not a big deal. You
Right.
don't want to mess up the moneymaker and honestly get knocked out. So the idea is if you've got a handout, and anybody who's watched Ip Man, the stance,
mm-hmm.
and you just redirect just a little bit, a punch, not only have you avoided the major contact, but now you could ball the fist up and bring that forward right into their shoulder knock them off balance. Now you've got an attack point. And I'm like, that is perfect. When my sensei taught me that, I'm like, you need to go to Cincinnati right now. And they neither of them knew much about football, but they were very good at to talk about like muscle cues. Like, how do you relate this into what should I be? Scott Peters is really good from what I've heard, really good about that too. It's like, all right, you want to do something with your body that you don't understand your body can do. It's like, all
Right.
right, think about tensing this or this, and then it works. And they're like, oh my God, that's it. You don't know what you don't know. My senseis were really good teaching that. Scott Peters is doing that same thing. And it's like,
Mhm.
I've wanted, hey, I get it. I'm not a famous black belt. I'm not in movies. I'm not whatever. It's hard to get that time. What would Cap know about hand-to-hand combat and offensive line? You might be surprised because my opinion that hey, the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
And if these guys are actually striking and attacking,
Mhm.
I think we're going to see because you've got to be able to get somebody else off of their cadence, off of their
Mhm.
rhythm, off of their positioning without giving up your positioning. And Wing Chun was all about center line. So you want to
Get
be
'em
able to maintain
knock 'em off balance, get them off their balance.
exactly,
It's
which
all about leverage.
you strike the right way. You don't reach, you know, you don't swing him at who was it? Working with Carlos Dunlap. I'll never forget. Was it Marion back then?
Marion Hobby? Dunlap? No,
Maybe.
I don't think so. The D-line coach back then? No, I don't think it was.
Who was before that?
I don't even.
Anyway, I
I don't
remember,
remember,
and I
to
would
be honest.
see him working with Carlos, and Carlos is big swipes, big huge swipes. All of this, like off camera, out here, is a waste
Mhm.
because the amount of room that you've got to move to swipe. Why not here?
Mhm.
Keep it here because if somebody's hands are coming for you here, if they're going to try to swipe from out here, who cares? If that hand is outside of your body, if it's outside of your space, you don't have to deal with it. They're wasting their
You're
energy.
losing all your leverage there.
Exactly. If somebody like a defender does something clear out as an offensive lineman, I'm going two hands right in the chest, put them on their
Exactly.
ass
Exactly.
because they just wasted whatever. Heaven forbid, some of the spin moves, some of the stuff it takes time to be able to get the timing down and to be able to react. But there's certain cues. Also, your body can only move so many ways.
Mhm.
If you want to spin, you've got to turn a shoulder. You have to. You're not going to spin without turning a shoulder. I mean, it's common sense.
Right.
So if your eyes are drawn to where you see the start of whatever motion, and I guarantee you Scott Peters is going over all of this. So OBJ, his love for martial arts, his love for Bruce Lee, I would bet all the money in the world that since Scott Peters has been on board, he's been watching some of those old Bruce Lee movies.
Probably.
It is
Probably.
seriously going to help because if he starts even play fighting in the locker room with the other offensive linemen,
I think it's awesome.
dude, the
I think
amount of practice and repetition and the habits formed by
Mhm.
what you're doing,
Mhm.
holy cow. Anybody needs a little primer, go watch some Ip Man tonight.
There you
Great
go.
movies.
Uh,
Anyway, sorry.
no, you're
Woo!
good. You're good. Natty Ron here wants to know if there's
Tiger
any
style,
word.
Natty Ron. I love it.
Yeah, Natty wants to know if there's any word on Stewart situation. None, nothing so far. And he said should Trey sit back and wait until what's he got? Pittsburgh, and Dallas make a move. I mean, to be honest, if I'm Trey, I mean, I personally I hope he doesn't. I hope the Bengals get him signed before that because if he waits till TJ Watt gets signed and or Micah Parsons gets signed, his asking price is going to go up. From what I like, look, this is what I've said this whole time. I think he's signing at 30. That's where I think the number is. He might be coming in and asking for 35. If the Bengals come up from 28 to or 25, wherever that 28, 25, if they come up to 30, and you get 2 more years. And I think it's like I keep saying this, you could do 2 years and a third year as an option year or whatever. You can front load it, give him most of the money in the first 2 years, make the third year next to nothing. And if for some reason, if he does fall off a cliff, then you can cut him. But Trey would be fine with that because he'd get most of his money. So that's where this isn't me saying this. I mean, Richard Skinner's the one that brought this up. So I'm just stealing it from Skinny. Sounds good to me. It's easy for me to say that here sitting in the ice cave and say it, but to me, that's where it's got to be. I don't know. What do you got, Cap?
Start him with a number 3. I want to see the Bengals come back to him with a number that starts with 3. They can do it. $2 million a year, and it's not about the billionaire stuff. To me, it's about revenue.
Right.
I really believe in this team. I really believe in what they're headed toward. The stadium talks, the improvements around the stadium. Obviously Joe Burrow is going to be here for a long time. The fact that they were able to pull off Joe, Jamar, and T, you're going to eventually get to a point where the cap escalates, and this might be some wishful thinking, but it's going to be a Brady situation. The cap escalates to a point where Joe's like, you know what, I'm good. I don't need to reset the market. Let's get more guys in that can win. Let's keep.
Think so. Now that's an interesting thing. They brought this up on First Take today. I'll talk about this. Talk about NBA contracts, and I get it. I mean, we're guys have grown up coming from nothing, and I get it. Get all the money you can, but like you said, once you get to a certain point where you already have generational wealth, Burrow has it. His next contract, he's still going to get a ton of money. I mean, they say Aaron Rodgers took a discount. He's getting $10 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of damn money still. So I'd love to have $10 million. And that's the thing is, once these guys reach that level, yeah, I think you can. And I'm not saying a hometown discount, but take something a little less so you can go add on to your team. I can totally see Burrow doing that. I think that Jamar and T, now they got their money. Maybe they'll do that as well. I mean,
I could see that. I could see the 3 of them doing that as long as we can get that first Lombardi knocked out.
Yes.
Then there you go.
It's happening this year.
So the money is going to be there. There's extra money coming in for Super Bowl winners. There's all the additional advertising. There's all these additional sponsors that we're going to want to be on board. Give him 32. Offer 32. Hey, offer 30 with the ability knowing hey, if I got to say 32, say 32, because there is an argument from the data analytics side that he is not a TJ Watt. He is not Myles Garrett. He is not a Micah Parsons. He is at the top of his game for what he is.
Wings said all 3 of them already said they would do that. So there you go.
All 3, what are we talking? 30, 32?
I think she means Burrow, Chase, and Higgins that they would take.
Oh, that
once they get up there, which they're up there now.
People will say some of the prior things that they've said is like, well, why didn't they do it now? You can't do that your first contract. I totally get that.
Yeah, you've worked your
ass off. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right, you worked your ass off to get to this point. You're there to take care of yourself and your family. And like I said, I keep talking about this. I'm not the only one that says it. It's generational wealth. Like your grandkids are going to have money, if you don't blow it all.
For me, it's you got to lock in that first contract because what if you get hurt the next year,
right?
And Ice is that band? Did that come with a hat?
No, this is Ron. What is Ron's name? Ron made it for me.
I like that.
Yeah, he's the one that made. Let's see here. He made the strawberry ice chain back here. He made all the strawberry chain I was wearing last year. I can't think. Why can't I think Ron's last name right now? But Ron makes a lot of the chains and stuff for me. But yeah, he had this band on here, and I had it on another Cincy hat, but this one didn't come with a rope across it, so I put it on this one. So
yeah, like Cincy hats should think about that because that I've never seen that. I've never thought about that, but that's kind of a good idea for accessorizing.
It comes off right here. I don't want to pull it off. I have to put it back.
Yeah, I like that. I really do. It's funny. I've been saying we've been talking about that. I keep staring at that. I'm like, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, fuzzy balls.
Yeah. Fuzzy Ball's got a $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Trey isn't as valuable as Max Crosby, TJ Watt, or Myles Garrett because those guys all get double teamed all the time. Trey rarely gets double teamed. Those guys create opportunities for other guys. I wouldn't necessarily say Trey doesn't get double teamed because, like, all right, let's look at last year. What was the defense focusing on? They were focusing on Trey. I mean, I don't have the numbers. I'm sure people can look it up. But yeah, I think Trey did get double teams more than that. But the point of this whole thing too is, and Jay Morrison put the stat out there that this is what the Bengals are going to use. That Trey got most of his sacks, which is good to close games out. That's what you want. But if you want this kind of money, like these guys, you want to get sacks all the time. So,
well,
it's nitpicking, to be honest. I mean, it's nitpicking. But if you're negotiating the contract, you're going to use these points. It's just the way it is.
Well, here's the thing. So, Myles Garrett gets 40 and screw Cleveland for giving him 40. But, you give him 40. So like Esther says, 30 and make up the rest with some sponsorship. Phenomenal. Hey, if I think the Bengals should be willing to go 30, that should definitely be. And if I'm Trey, I'm taking 30. And once again, I'm spending other people's money.
Dude, I think it's 30. I think he's good. At 30, 32, I think Trey would be fine. Look at that.
I'm spending other people's money.
I saw him this weekend. I did not ask. People were like, tell him to sign. Tell him. I'm like, I'm not asking.
No way. There's a time and a place.
I didn't even ask him to come on my podcast because this weekend wasn't about that. It was about the kids. I just shook his hand and said, what's up?
There you go. There you go.
So I didn't bring up any of that stuff.
I can't spend the Bengals money, nor can I accept money on behalf of Trey. But the $2 million, there could be some principle there. $28 million, he can do a ton with.
Yeah,
he can set himself and many, many, many other people up for the rest of their lives. $28 million, you can make a lot of money with just $28 million. Forget whatever else. Trey does not seem to be the Lambo collector type of guy. So of course, $28 million is fine. It's almost as nice, Esther has. It's almost a principle though. At that point,
right?
You should be able to go to 30. I've just got this feeling that the Bengals.
Yeah, if you're at 28, what's 30? Again, it's easy for me to say.
And hey, that's $2 million. That's a lot of money. But I'm telling you, the Bengals are going to make many more times $2 million by pushing to 30, and I believe they will. And Trey gets signed, they win the Super Bowl. That $2 million is gonna just appear in places all over the stadium.
Yeah,
they're just going to be collecting the extra $2 million. They are very conservative. The very top is very conservative. I don't see Mike Brown is thinking about, oh yeah, we're going to be rolling in extra billions of dollars. He seems to be very conservative, and he's always thinking about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying green light to think about 5 years from now, because I see the plan clear as day. The team is going to be worth so much more money that $2 million right now is not going to be a thing. I really do believe they are. People forget again a million times over. We have questions about how certain situations are dealt with or whatever. Some of the it's dealt sometimes because the media just attacks them, and it's not fair. And they're just like, fine, whatever. We're not going to talk. And I kind of get that too. Sometimes I just want to give middle fingers to everybody about the convicts on the team or how cheap ownership is. And Mike's like, I just spent millions of dollars renovating offices. Like, there's no even tangible benefit for fans or players. Coaches got nicer offices. Like, screw you guys. I get it. Totally get it. But they are very smart. Anything that we're talking about now, they know. They've talked about it too. I really believe it just comes down to taking a deep breath, taking the plunge, and continuing to get more comfortable with some of the things that they've never done before. And they're doing it. They've done it. They did it Jamar T. They did it before Burrow. I think they're going to do it with Trey. I got to believe Trey's going to come back.
All right, Fuzzy Balls here says Trey isn't worth $7 million more than T, like his agent is spewing. Just because Tennessee overpaid doesn't mean Cincy should. Well, the thing is, that's the market. I mean, that's where the market is. So, for an elite pass rusher, yeah, there's only a couple. We're talking. He's in the same book as T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons. He's in the same one as them. When you get set back to like 17 sacks, yes, you're in the same room as them. That's what they're getting. So that's where Trey's and this is Trey's. This could be you got to look at it this way. This could be Trey's last big contract, and he's never really gotten. He honestly has not really gotten a big contract yet. So and where it goes back on his agent. His agent screwed up and signed that extension 2 years ago. That which he probably should have never signed that. I'm glad he did. But that's the thing. And so, yeah, and I go back to the Raiders. The Raiders, I think, overpaid for Max Crosby. I think Max Crosby is good, but he's not. I think it's Myles Garrett is the best, and I hate to admit it, but I do think he is. And then Parsons, I think those two are 1 and 2. I really do. And then it's everybody else, and Trey is in that. So I get what you're saying, Fuzzy Balls, but that's where the market is, and that's what Trey is going by. So.
Yeah, the thing about it when people talk about Trey's not as good against the run, I don't know the numbers right there. I know nobody talks about Trey as this big time run stopper. That doesn't mean that he can't defend the run. It's just not something that we talk about. I don't care though, because fine, you want to say, oh, we're only going to give that kind of money to someone who does both at whatever level. All right, great. Where that guy's not on the roster. Trey is superhuman on our defense. And if there's something that he needs to work on it with him. But not signing him is not going to help. It's just going to give us more things we need to replace.
Yeah. Fuzzy Balls there. Shout out there. $5 super chat said I think he said trade Trey and our first round pick in 2026 for Max Crosby. I think it was a steal. I'm not disagreeing with you. I mean, I probably would too, but
that scares me. That first pick, I do like draft picks.
Yeah, but the thing is, whether you do that or not, that's not gonna happen. Trey's still up there with Max Crosby. That's the whole point of this thing. Is you might not think he is, but he is. I mean that's where he is. That's where he is in the eyes of NFL teams. I guarantee you, if Trey was a free agent this year, he'd be getting that much money. He would be, because teams would die to have a guy who got 17.5 sacks back-to-back years. They would. He might not get a long contract. It might be a 3-year contract, but it'd be a big contract. So
I've been sitting here looking at myself like, that looks weird as shit. There was a damn filter on. I'm like, I
was wondering why I kept going light and dark. Is that what was going on?
Oh, no. The light and dark is me. If I sit forward, it's the camera sensor. If I lean back, it'll eventually adjust.
Okay.
I can also control the color of the lights, which I started out. Where'd it go? They were really amber, which looks darker. And then I'm like, okay, that's too dark.
You get orange. Can they turn orange?
But I'm like, am I wearing makeup that I didn't realize? Like, okay, now it's off. Like, what the? Great. I spent the whole show like that. Esther, yeah. I saw. Yeah, he's not a money hungry guy. He drives a Jeep Wagoneer. That's sweet. Like, props to players that do that, because in the end, like, I'm not really that big of a car guy. I have been in position to buy a Lamborghini, and
hold that thought here. Okay. Come back here. I want to get this up here real quick. He said the Bengals would never give a free agent defensive end with 17.5 sacks, $35 million a year. Never say never. We also said we've been told they would never pay Jamar and T, and they did. So never say never.
I don't think the number's 35. I'm really hoping it's 30.
I think it's 30. 30, 32. I think that's where just from me talking to different people, I have no inside knowledge. This is just from talking to different beat writers and different people. That's where I think it is.
And if the Bengals number, if they can get to 30, and Trey was really hoping for 32, I would tell Trey to take it. And any thoughts of any ill will, just drop it, because he can do what he can do with 30 million. It gets into that hump that there's a 3 in front of it. Welcome to the club.
Yeah, and the thing is, Cap, I don't necessarily like what you said, necessarily think it's the money. I think he wants 30, but I think it's more the length. He wants a longer one. I don't think the Bengals,
so do I,
or any NFL team with a guy that's 30, almost 31, going to give him more than 3 years. That's really more of the crutch of this negotiation, I think, is the length of the contract, not the money. I mean, I think we get to 28, 30 million, 32, so somewhere around there. I think everybody's going to agree that it's the length of the contract. Because Trey wants to know where he's going to be for the next 3 to 4 years. And if you get the 3-year contract, then he's here for the next 4 years. That's more what it is.
If Trey says he can last 4 years, Trey can last 4 years. Yeah. Like I am over. Like Trey is one of those. Trey is the Whitworth. Mm-hmm. Trey is the DJ Reader. Yes. I don't care about injury history. I don't care about wear and tear. I don't care about anything. He's one of those dudes that's going to be dedicated to his craft. He's going to take care of himself. In fact, you give him 30 million, he's got more money to take even better care of himself than he's ever taken in his life. Mm-hmm. He's going to be if he says he's good for 4 years, he's good for 4 years. These players know their body.
Can you look this up real quick? How many games has he missed in his Bengals career? I don't think it's been a lot, to be honest. I don't know offhand.
Well, it's not been a lot, but he's also played in pain.
Yeah, and Matty Ryan says that he knows that the Bengals aren't going over 3. I don't know that they could. I think that, like I said, if they're going to keep Trey, I believe that's where it is. I think he wants at least 3 years, and like I said, you can do it this way. And like I said, Richard Skinner said this: they can front load the contract in the first 2 years where he can get most of his money. The third year, if he's falling off a cliff, there's not a lot there. They can cut him and eat the money. So that's, to me, that's where, and again, this is Richard Skinner saying this. That's where I think how they need to structure the contract. It could be 3 years. You get most of your money in the first 2. The third year, hopefully if he's still playing great, then you're getting him really cheap on the third year at the end of this contract. Which, like I said, it'd be 4 years because he's already on the contract now. To me, that's a smart play to do that. So to find out how many games.
I'm going to. A couple of things. 3 years ago, wow. Okay, so I don't care about 2017. 2022.
He wasn't here.
Yeah, 2022, he had a concussion, neck stinger, and wrist fracture. Mm-hmm. And initially, that's the only thing mentioned. Now, he's had the back thing a few times. I swore he missed because of the back. I know he's played through it.
Yeah, he's played through a lot of stuff. I know that.
Like the dude's a tank.
All right, Natty says, you can see. Hold on, let me get back up here. We all know the Bengals are not going over 3. None, I believe, less than 5. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't think Trey's asking for 5 years. If that's what you're saying, Natty. You can do 3, but back out ASAP, but not over 3 years. No way. I see the front office agreeing to that. Like I said, that's been, I think, the hiccup. I mean, that's where somebody's going to have to give, and that's where Trey can come back give up some of the money if he wants a longer contract. The Bengals like, all right, you want 3 years, cool. Then we're at 28. We'll give you 28 over 3 years. Like I said, I'm just talking at her. Good. We got
Trey has missed 3 games the last 4 years.
There you go.
Wow.
Like I said, there's no signs of him slowing down.
No.
So that's where I'm like, I think that we're saying a 3-year contract. That actually means 4 years because it'd be on top of the year he's got this year. So that pushing to what, 35, 34, something like that. I mean, he might be done after that, to be honest. I mean, that might be his last contract because there's not too many defensive ends that play beyond that. So
you know what? You say that, and they said the same thing about Whitworth, and
true.
look what he did.
Oh, true.
It just depends on how he wants to take care of himself.
Exactly. And I said, I think Trey takes care of himself, man. he like I said, there's been nothing that he has, like. So let's compare it to his running mate, Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard kept getting injured the last 2 years, and that's what really hindered him the last 2 years. Is he kept getting injured. He would play injured. He's a tough dude. He kept playing injured, but it wasn't helping him. Trey has not been injury prone. So, and I don't want to hear this. Oh, you say that now, and then we sign him, and then he gets a whole bunch of injury. You can't
predict that.
You got to look at the facts that you see in front of you, and the facts are he doesn't get injured.
Yep. Yeah. Anytime that you try to do that, like, people were worried about Burrow and, now he's injury prone and this and that, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's all in how you take care of yourself. And Trey's smart enough to do the right thing. So, give him 4 years, $3 million a year, 4 years.
These guys take care of themselves way better than how NFL players used to. I mean, that's their job. I mean, their body is their money. So they want to play as long as they can, be able to recover as fast as they can. And there's so much technology and to the food.
Never thought I'd see the parallels between NFL players and OnlyFans models. Their body is their money.
The body is their money.
Go.
It is. It's kind of true. It's kind of a weird way of thinking of it, but yeah.
There is normal stuff on OnlyFans though. Like we need to normalize.
I have never been on OnlyFans. I have no idea.
I have, and it's been normal stuff. There is actually like normal shows on OnlyFans. They don't make as much as the other stuff.
I wonder why.
It exists.
They do
you
exist.
Can't even I can't wear my favorite OnlyFans channel's T-shirt because people think I'm weird. I don't have one, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to wear it.
Sure, you don't, Cap. I believe.
Trey kind of reminds me of Tim Krumrie in Iran. Oh man, he does seem to have that love of the game.
Yeah, but also did not. Hopefully, Tim Krumrie's not the same injury thing here. Tim Krumrie.
Well, hey, I mean, that was the only thing that took him out, and guess what? People don't remember this, but Krumrie didn't miss a game. He didn't miss a game for that broken leg.
No, he
healed and he made that first game.
He played with that rod in his leg, I think, the rest of his career. Yeah. Natty Ron here says, Ice, can the Reds take 2 out of 3 in Boston? Yes, I think they can. I mean, Boston is.
Will they? I don't know.
Yeah, will they? I don't know. But yeah, I think they can. The way they're playing, and Boston is kind of on the downslide. After they're still reeling after that horrendous trade they made to the Giants. Yeah, I think it starts, and hopefully Chase Burns goes out there and picks up right where he left off last week. Because I mean, starting out with 5 straight strikeouts. Fuzzy Balls, you're bringing it today. I like it. $5 super chat. I think the Bengals give him $100 in new money for 3 more years, including a pay raise this season. It could get done. That's more than fair. Give him $100. I'm not sure. Am I reading that wrong?
$100 million in new money.
Oh, okay.
Bump up this year's.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Either way, like I said, look, some of the guys on ESPN who are against the Bengals even think this is going to get done. So I still think it's getting done. I think Shamar Stewart's getting done.
Shamar Stewart's got seriously, the agent is going to look. He's going to open up his portfolio and he's going to stare Baby Gronk right in the little face, little chubby face.
Well, the thing is, how? And he's going to talk about this last week. How can he argue anything now? Because the guys in front of Stewart signed with the same contract, and the guys behind him signed with the same wording in the contract. So how can he sit there and go, well, you can't do that. You've never done it before. It's the way the NFL contracts are going. I mean, I don't see how you can
All
argue.
they're going to do, both Baby Gronk's agent. I have forgotten his name at this point, and I'm just going to call him Baby Gronk's agent. Which, oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I don't have my censor button. Do
Beep.
you realize after all the mess I talked, I was like, I'm going to get into some shit talking all this mess about this agent.
Yeah.
I got in a little mess because Baby Gronk fucking followed me. My Baby Gronk followed me because I kept talking so much trash about the agent. And I just slipped the F-bomb. Sorry. Baby Gronk follows me. The two weirdest follows that I have, Baby Gronk and Bernie Kosar.
Oh my God. Bernie Kosar follows you?
Follows me. I have no idea why. I did not follow him back, and he still follows me. I have no idea why.
I have no idea why either. Dude, we're already an hour into it. I brought up to do this. We're going to talk about the schedule and everything. Like, didn't get to that.
But yeah, Shamar is going to sign because the agent and Shamar, they're staring in the face the huge drop in money.
Yeah,
it's going to be more significant for Shamar the next year. If he doesn't play, it's going to hurt bad, and it's going to be less significant. And I think that's part of the thing that Shamar needs to remember, because his agent's going to take a cut. It's not going to be the same cut Shamar's going to take, and that's where Shamar needs a new agent. Zay Flowers was with him and dropped him. Zay Flowers is up for a new contract. Zay Flowers is up for like his first big contract. He doesn't want the guy representing him.
Dude,
I think that says a lot.
I would crack up laughing if we hear sometime sooner that Shamar Stewart's getting new representation. That would be. I'm like, yeah, all right, yep. Because
yes, Natty Ron, look it up. That dude represents Baby Gronk. Go to their website. I wasn't making that up. They're an agent for Baby Gronk. Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk. Fro tracks haters. You might have.
And that is why I identify like all this hate thrown toward Angel Reese. I'm an Angel Reese fan. I identify with that.
I don't like all this stuff. We're talking about all the stuff that what's her name? Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Like, dude, she's getting hammered in the WNBA. And I'm glad finally somebody's sticking up for her. One of her teammates finally stuck up for her. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. But I mean, dude, did you see that her shoes, all of her shoes in every size sold out in about 10 minutes?
That's typical though. That's, I mean,
anybody for WNBA? I don't think that's typical.
They're Kobe's though, right?
Yeah,
and they're sweet. And they're sweet. So I mean, not taken away from Caitlin. Like I'll let her speak for herself on the court, but like that's a common thing for hot shoes. You know, I'm surprised if they lasted 10 minutes. I'm surprised they lasted 10 minutes because anytime I try to get anything off of sneakers, I hate it. You've got to like get an in somewhere.
I don't know
in order to get anything.
Yeah, I don't know how these people get in there. Anyway, been up for an hour and 3 minutes. Cap, you got any final parting words you want to say to Who Dey Nation? That was a quick hour. Who Dey Nation before we get on out of here.
Man, it's almost training camp. If anybody, I'm a little slow this year on some of the calendar stuff, but I've got some surprises I'm going to push out to make everybody's Bengals planning easier for the rest of the year. Definitely, if you can, hey, make it a weekend. If you're not in Cincy, make it a weekend. Yeah. I know Natty Ron just left. Sorry, but if everybody can get down to training camp.
Natty Ron, you coming back sometime soon? Hopefully.
Yep. Get down to training camp when you can. It is an absolute blast. If you can go a couple of days, pick something where they're like back-to-back days or maybe split by a day. It's well worth it. You'd be amazed. Weird things happen. Suddenly you're walking along and Jamar's like right beside you. You get a quick autograph, And if
training
he's busy,
going to be earlier this year. The camp is going to be at 10 a.m. Most of the practices are going to be at 10 a.m. now. Did you hear that?
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be earlier. So you come in, you can go.
It's not gonna be as hot.
It's not gonna be as hot. You can go to the Bengals training camp at 10 a.m., watch that for a couple hours, and then you got the rest of the day to go hang out in the city.
Hell yeah. And Fuzzy, yeah, Miles Murphy can do this year. Oh yeah, I've got a good feeling about Miles Murphy this year.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, but that's it. Hey, Who Dey? Like Nadiron said, can't wait for football. It's almost here, so
I know. Let's go.
Keep enjoying. Stay cool if you can. It's crazy humid out there, but other than that, let's go chase Burns.
There you go, baby. Thanks, Cap. See you, brother. All right, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Like I said, I am very excited to go watch Chase Burns tonight, making the second MLB appearance against the Boston Red Sox. I don't know if you got to see it, but the Reds tweeted out like Ellie and a couple other guys went inside the Green Monster and signed their names. I think that would be cool. That's one ballpark I want to go to one of these days. I want to go watch the Reds play the Red Sox, and I want to sit on top of the Monster. One of these days, I'm going to make it out there. I think that would be awesome. But like I said, they are going tonight. Hopefully, they win 2 out of 3. We'll find out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And of course, I will be pulling the sound off later on tonight. Putting on the podcast. It's on BeanPod, Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Do me a favor. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I'm getting so many people to listen to my podcast. I think I had Orlando Brown, and it's on the podcast. I got almost 200 views on the show Friday on YouTube. I got like over 1,000 on Twitter. It's been blowing up. It's been awesome. I appreciate you guys with the podcast. I don't have any, so if you guys don't mind go listen to the podcast, I'd appreciate it. Shout out to sponsors of the show. They are as follow: Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you guys got that grass you don't want to cut, you got the landscaping project you want to get done. I don't know. You got a retaining wall, paper patio, anything, a fountain, anything related to lawn and landscaping. Do me a favor. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Don't think it. Call them at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. Their website, you can check them out, is at MeyerCincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. As I got them in my house, I recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great-looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and More. And, of course, my favorite brewery, Moreline Lager House. You guys have not been down there for Roebling, Rocket on the Roebling. It's each and every Thursday night of the summer. It's an awesome time. They got some cool bands out there. You can drink some delicious Moreline beer, eat some delicious food. Moreline Lager House. It's right there on the banks. Make sure you go check it out. All right. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Brad here. Let's see here. Fenway is awesome park. If you have never been, if you get a chance to go, it's worth it. Yes, I would love to go. Hopefully, one of these days, I'll get a chance to get out there. But other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. Remember, Who Dey for life. Throw it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya! Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.